Hello, folks, and welcome to the Jack in the Box Friday night wrap-up show here on the Williamson Source at WilliamsonSource.com. We'll start off with the games that took place outside of our team coverage tonight, starting off with Ravenwood and Stewart's Creek. Ravenwood had a monster game against Stewart's Creek last season. They did it again this season. The Rowland brothers got in a scoring competition as both scored a touchdown in the first quarter. Seth Rowland ended up with 14 carries for 114 yards and 2 touchdowns. Van Jefferson also scored 2 more in the first half as Ravenwood routs Stewart's Creek for the second straight year. Actually, almost similar scores. They win tonight 56-14. Now on to Fairview. We remember the season they had last year. They were upended by CPA in the playoffs, but had a phenomenal season. Did the Yellow Jackets. Fairview's Hunter Caldwell scored early in the first quarter, taking on Cheatham County on a 10-yard scamper, and Fairview led 13-0 at the half. Their season off to a good start, and it would continue. Caldwell scored again to start the third, and with 6:38 left in the game, the Yellow Jackets led 27-7. Cheatham County would come back, but the Yellow Jackets did prevail 27-21. They were able to hang on for the win, a good win for Fairview to start off their 2014 campaign. Other teams on the road visiting, it was Brentwood Academy, one of the top teams in this county. The Eagles were at Memphis University School, where they won last year 36-7, another one with a nearly identical score. They win this year 31-14. So Brentwood Academy taking care of business against MUS. Franklin Road Academy, Panthers lost last year 35-10. And despite a 2-touchdown performance from Spence Jones, which included a 62-yard touchdown to start the third, to put FRA within a touchdown, they would fall 49-28. As we followed that game throughout the night, felt like FRA might have a few opportunities to shock some people with the good win to start out their season. Unfortunately, it was not in the cards tonight as they fall by 21, but the game was much closer than the final score will lead you to believe. Now, Father Ryan was at home tonight. They were playing Overton, and it was probably one of the best games of the night. I can't wait to get these highlights taken care of here on the Williamson Source. And we will have all the highlights from these games, even the road games, on our Monday morning highlight show. So be looking for that. And then you're going to want to see these. Overton at Father Ryan. One of the it got started off to a great start for the Fighting Irish. Jack Shoulders, a 97-yard kickoff return. But after that, the game stayed tight, and it took a touchdown and a 2-point conversion by Father Ryan with 23.8 seconds left to give them the 29-23 win. So the Fighting Irish starting off 1-0. And now we get to some MTAC action, some 8-on-8 action, where Franklin Classical School was taking on Hendersonville Christian Academy, and FCS took a 25-14 lead at halftime, and they came out and scored 21 unanswered in the second half. They win it 27 unanswered. Math is a little off there. 27 unanswered in the second half as they win it 52-14. Now, we do have plenty of highlights to get to in the show from the games that we were at, and we'll get to that as well as Beyond the Game and our Game of the Week. We'll be right back with all of that after this break.
Attention Monster Taco fans! Get ready for a night of Monster Taco madness! With 2 new Monster Taco flavors from Jack in the Box, face off! Introducing the Bacon Ranch Monster Taco, crushing it with strips of bacon and creamy ranch versus the Nacho Monster Taco, coming hard with nacho cheese and jalapenos! Monster, Monster, Monster Tacos! Too much?
Needs an explosion.
I'm Donna Visman with Williamson Source, and if you ever needed a wingman, we've got them right here.
That's right.
Tell me your name.
I am Alex O'Macy.
Alex, so I've heard this is a new thing at Ravenwood this year.
It is. Brand new.
Brand new. So tell me about it.
Basically, we're just going in there and throwing the girls up. Making sure, they got the manpower, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how do you learn how to be a good wingman?
You just got to make sure you complete a toss and catch it. Make sure they don't fall.
Yeah.
It's a big thing.
So have you ever dropped anybody? I mean, that's the real question everybody wants to know.
I have once.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Did she survive? Is that the girl with the cast over there?
No, that's not the girl. Not the girl. No.
No.
That's not the girl. No.
Okay. So what made you want to do this? What made you want to be a wingman?
At first, I got called in as a favor, but then after the first day of practice, I just really liked it. So now it's like
You're in.
it's in.
You're
yeah,
all
it's
in. So
all
you're going to
in.
do this for football, basketball, or just football?
Just football, and then basketball season, they'll have a few football players take over.
Oh. Bringing in the big reinforcements, right?
Yeah, the really big reinforcements, really big ones.
So you play another sport besides this?
I wrestle and I play rugby.
Oh, so you're strong, because wrestlers have to be really strong.
I don't know. I mean, I do what I need to do, I guess.
Yeah.
in
What
terms
is
of
your
strength.
What is your most difficult stunt you're going to perform tonight?
Probably a walk-in to a full extension or a toss to hands, which is where you just take the girl and throw her up and catch her. Basically hope for the best.
Okay, I don't want to be, I usually do participating journalism, but I'm not going to do that tonight because I don't want to be tossed and I don't want to be dropped. But I'm going to watch you because we can't wait to see that.
All right.
It sounds really fun. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, now that Beyond the Game, was from, of course, Ravenwood's final scrimmage with Brentwood Academy, and you can check out some of the Beyond the Games from the game of the week that we were at. That was Innsworth and Trinity, and you can see some of those Beyond the Games. We had a few of those, as well as our very first Fan of the Week, which is also pretty cool. So make sure you check in for that. Trinity and Innsworth was our game of the week, and wow, these guys last season put on a show for ESPNU. The final score, I think, was 27-26. Innsworth able to hang on for the win, and it was another nail-biter again this Friday. This time at Innsworth, not in front of a national audience, but this game was just as good. We'll get to those highlights right now. As the Shamrocks from Louisville, Kentucky, they have 22 state championships. Innsworth looking for their 5th straight. And right here, McGraw showing why he is going to do just fine in Crimson. Breaking several tackles before getting into the end zone to give Innsworth the 7-0 lead. Tigers up 7-zip. And Trinity would be handed a gift right when we thought it might go to the second half. 7-0. Ball knocked away. This is one of several fumbles. As Sheffield fumbles this one. He's the Vanderbilt commit. And then Trinity makes that hurt. Donald Green, one of the superstars for the Shamrocks, scores on the counter. And we are tied at 7. We would stay tied at 7. And right here, this is Innsworth leading 14-7. And the referee says that's a catch. Now that's still up for debate. It looked like the referee coming in right here was going to signal it incomplete, but the Shamrocks, coaching staff and players animated. That's 30 yards worth of penalties, unsportsmanlike penalties. And then Innsworth makes them pay. Remember, Sheffield fumbled the ball. He makes up for it, and then some here with a touchdown to give his team a 21-7 lead. It looked like Trinity was just about done. But Coach Bob Beatty of the Trinity Shamrocks, never lets his team give up. I don't know what Coach does, but definitely not Coach Bob Beatty. The Shamrocks battling back again. They've cut it to 7, 21-14, and they would get the ball back and a chance to tie the game. This is 4th down. They need 8, maybe more. And it looked like they were going to get it. The pass is batted down, incomplete, and Innsworth hangs on for the 21-14 win over Trinity as the Tigers continue their drive for 5 as they start off 1-0. Just another great performance by Innsworth, and this series, I hope it continues. These two teams with 2 remarkable games back-to-back seasons. As we'll get to some of the other highlights from around the area. Summit and Spring Hill. And this game, if you remember, was the only Summit win of the season for 2013. We'll go ahead and roll these highlights. Spring Hill, though, Coach Luchetta finally getting his system, and they look to start their season off right. Both these teams combined for 2-18 last season, so looking for some rebuilding as you see a huge stop from Spring Hill here. This is a nice pass. Now, this is the sophomore quarterback for Summit, looking pretty good. But Spring Hill, just a little bit too much. You see another pass completed here as they drive, looking to add to the scoreboard. They were up 12-0 at one point. They would go on to win the game by a final score of 32-0. As you see here on the quarterback keeper, breaking a tackle and taking it into the end zone for a Raider victory. 32-0, Spring Hill over Summit. Good start to the Raider season. Kenwood and Independence. Independence came out making a statement. All three quarterbacks for Independence scored, and not through the air. They scored on the ground. See an incomplete pass from Kenwood and a field goal right here. It's the crowd loving it. Their team getting out to a good start. 42-7 was the final. Independence with an easy first week win over Kenwood. Could expect more to this out of the Eagles. They, you said in the preseason, they like to have a strong team this year. They're in a tough district. We know that for sure, but they look like a team that's going to fight for that district, that being District 11. They win it, of course, 42-7. All right, next up on highlights, Lipscomb and Page. A hot night at Page. Fans ready for football to start. These guys are excited. Mustangs start with the ball, march down the field, but fumble at the Patriot 15-yard line, recovered by Nelson Brett of the Patriots. And you got to like the new helmets. We need to get a tight of those. Those are awesome. At any rate, Blake Rice getting some nice blocking, moving down the field for a 20-yard run. And that leads to a Page field goal. They lead it 3-0. But Lipscomb would respond. You remember this game was a shootout last season, 61-42. So, of course, this year, naturally, after everybody predicted it would be another high-scoring affair, it's low scoring. But Lipscomb does score here, makes it 7-3. There's your first touchdown. It came in the second quarter. Next, Page possession. Michael Roberts breaking numerous tackles. Spin move, touchdown, Patriots. And they lead it 10-7. They go on to win 24-10. Good start for Page. And a nice bounce back. Well, I wouldn't say a nice bounce back win, but still bouncing back from a loss last season to the same team and beating them by 2 touchdowns. And when we come back, we have highlights from Centennial and Clarksville Northeast. Stay tuned.
I'm a lot more productive lately. You know, thinking big picture and coming up with new products like my 3 cheese and ham grilled sandwich. It's got a creamy tomato sauce, 3 kinds of real melting cheese, and thinly sliced ham on my grilled to perfection artisan bread. All because I got this robot handling the day-to-day stuff, which is super helpful. I wanted the corner piece. There's still a few bugs.
And our final highlight of the night, Northeast, Clarksville Northeast at Centennial. And another game where it was the home team and it basically just running over their opponents. Here you see a nice catch and throw and a Cougar touchdown. This game wasn't close for very long. Centennial running away with this one. One of the best tweets I saw of the night was from a couple Centennial players actually preaching the same message. A lot of people doubted them after they didn't make the playoffs last year, basically saying, doubt us now. They look like a team that's going to fight for District 11 also. I mean, this district is loaded with good teams. And that's what makes it so hard. You're talking about not making the playoffs last season. I mean, this is basically why. You got teams like Franklin, Ravenwood, Centennial, Independence all in this same district. It's tough. And here you see Centennial players combining for a sack. Knocking them all back to the 45-yard line. Fans enjoying it, and they have every reason to. Their team off to a great start in 2014. As you see, field goal kickers. Man, these guys are legit. We've seen a couple of these. 41-7, Centennial. Solid in their first game of the season. That's all the highlights we have for you tonight. But remember, tune back in on Monday. All right, CPA Brentwood. Another of our mini 7 o'clock kickoffs. Jay Hockaday from CPA gets in the end zone for the touchdown. And then Hockaday again, barreling through the defense. And how about this? J.R. Osborne. That's from 53 yards. That's a school record. Then Brentwood hits a 45-yarder of their own. It's a kicker's duel here. Then here's a touchdown again for CPA. They go on to win it 31-10. This game was 17-14 last season, 31-10 this year. But the talk of the game is going to be J.R. Osborne's 53-yard school record-breaking field goal. Incredible. We saw J.R. Osborne, of course, in soccer season, playing for a state champion soccer team. That sounds about right. A guy who can kick the ball like that, he can surely help out his school soccer team, definitely. BGA came out on fire, 99 yards of penalties in the first half. But BGA's Clay Bethard was 18 of 23 for 344 yards and 5 touchdowns. And Crawford caught 9 of those for 185 yards and 3 touchdowns. And here you're seeing the BGA defense. Swarm of players combining on the tackle. Here's a pass from Bethard to Cawthorn for the touchdown. BGA went it 52-28 in their opener. I'd like to thank, first of all, 104.5 The Zone and Chad Withrow for their help and their coverage tonight. You can follow them from 6 to 11 on Fridays, and you get all of the prep football that you need. You get all the scores. They cut into games to give you updates as they happen. Also, tweet and send us pics from the game, and maybe we'll use yours. You can tweet us at Williamson SRC on Friday nights and give us those pictures. We might use yours on the show, on any of our shows, really. We can use them for Monday and Friday and Thursday, any of them. And you can also submit pictures by going to williamsonsource.com/prepsports and finding the button there that says submit your pictures. Pretty self-explanatory. And for complete highlights from football, girls soccer, and other college, high school, pro, all of it, be sure to check out our Sports Source highlight show presented by Franklin Motor Company. That's on Monday evenings. And also, Thursday nights, 7 o'clock, our preview show presented by Columbia State University. Be sure to check that out as we'll talk about the upcoming games for week 1. So be sure to watch that. From the Williamson Source and Jack in the Box, I'm Steve Peak. See you Monday at 7 o'clock.